This is Horns Up. I'm Peter.
And I'm Animesh.
And for the first time ever, here's Undying Inc. Welcome to the podcast, guys. But before we do that, let's have each of you introduce yourselves so the listeners know who's who.
So yeah, I'm Biz. I'm the guitar player of Undying.
I am Sunneith. I do vocals for Undying.
I'm Ezra. I do bass for Undying.
Welcome, guys.
One of the main reasons we have you on the podcast is I managed to catch you guys last week at the New World Order gig here in Bombay. And let's get impressions out of the way in the start, right? How was it to be back on stage after a while? And I think this was the first time we played with this lineup, right?
Five years, I think. The last show we played was in 2019 in Delhi. Ezra was there too, but that was with the previous lineup. So it's been a while. I completely forgot what would it feel like to be on stage again. And 2 weeks before the show, where I had to start standing and playing the guitar once again. Because on the that's a different practice in itself. And again, figuring out the parts and then also adjusting the belt height. What would be the perfect way so that I could play everything without any kind of discomfort. So that was like the main problem for me, trying to again stand up and play. So
did it take long to relearn songs, etc., or were you one of the few musicians who actually practiced during the lockdowns?
I was not practicing any of Undying stuff, not the old stuff actually, but the new, because we are working on new music. So we're just trying to work out new songs. But I got a lot of time to learn solos that I always wanted to play. Like guitar solos from my heroes like Megadeth or Pantera or Iron Maiden, whatever. So I got a lot of time to learn those solos. Besides that, I was not really. But before the show, it took me a few days to just learn my own parts on the guitars. Relearning the parts. So that was quite a task. Yeah, but it's worth it. I mean, wasn't so difficult, but that's okay.
What about you, Ezra?
Yeah, it took me a long time to relearn the songs, and few parts in the songs were like, really? Did I play that?
Yeah, right. Fuck, I went, like with the Riot Peddlers, we went through the same thing, and I was questioning myself कि यार ये actually मैं ऐसे बजाया था. Why? Oh well.
And thing is that Undying songs are like very, very difficult songs compared to other music I do. Like I play classical pieces, that's also difficult, but in a different way. And my solo project is also very light. So it took me. The funny thing is that it took me 2 to 3 days just to start. I was thinking, should I start? And then I was like, I have no option. I didn't want to face that. Like I start and then I'm not able to play, but I had to. But slowly, it worked out, and I started enjoying again. It was fun.
Okay, Sunny, what about you? What was your return to stage story like?
Oh man, I was an anxious wreck. Leading up to the show, a lot of preps. So that these are songs that I've enjoyed for like years and years, right? Like as a listener, but but to sit down and learn those parts, learn those lyrics, and take the new songs and figure out how is it that the live rendition of those songs is going to sound. It was a lot of work, a lot of printouts, a lot of notes, a lot of preps. I was very anxious, but I think it turned out okay. Given that we only had like 3 days to rehearse these songs, I think overall it was a good week and it was a good show.
Everyone happy with how the gig turned out?
Yes, absolutely,
Yeah,
100%.
very-
I'm so satisfied. I slept well after 5 years, really. Because this, like, for me, the band is the most important thing in my life. I mean, this is what I live for, and to be able to play the first show again, because there was a lot of ups and downs going on, but a lot of downers was going on right after we had a lineup change and everything else, what's gonna, and then the lockdown happened.
Yeah.
That really fucked everything up for people around. So especially, so yeah. I mean, it was very, very satisfying. I was telling these guys also, like after the show, whether we sucked or not at the show, that's completely beside the point. But I personally, I had an excellent time. I came back home to tell my wife, my family, like that's the best thing that could have happened in the previous 5 years. I'm so pumped for the next things that's coming up for the band. We're writing some new killer music, and also we're waiting for some good shows to happen. So very pumped, very pumped.
Okay, Ezra and Sunny, similar reactions?
Absolutely. I think, yeah, like Biz said, it didn't matter. We didn't want to, dissect how the show went and what happened. And obviously, some of it you end up doing anyway. But we were just happy to be back on stage, and even those errors and mistakes that happen on stage, we were welcome to it because we haven't had that in so long. And personally for us, and then for us as a band, it just felt great to be back on that stage and playing those songs again.
Okay. Here's a weird question because of the gig and where it was. It was in Bombay, right? It wasn't in Delhi. Did it make it easier to step back to stage in Bombay, or does that not matter anymore?
Yes and no. I was very glad that my first show with Undying was in Bombay because home turf for me, and there's a certain degree of comfort that was there. On the flip side, it was home, and if something in my head, I was thinking if something goes wrong, everyone's going to be there to see it. But after a while, it didn't matter, and I realized I was being a little too paranoid. But I wouldn't have had my first show with Undying Inc. Anywhere else, anywhere but Bombay.
The way I looked at it was obviously getting back on stage after such a long time and a small 5-day, 4-day vacation for me. Because generally I don't take too much, I don't take too many breaks. So I am doing my own thing, you know. So yeah, the last time I traveled it's been a while, about a year or so, when I went to Calcutta to visit my mother. And yeah, so there was like a small, I didn't think much of it as oh, it's a Bombay show, then we have to be a certain way. A show is a show for me. I don't really look at it in any other way. But yeah, I was looking forward to, like, because we played Bombay like a long time. I don't even remember the last time we played Bombay.
Someone, if that jogs your memory, someone in the audience remembers saying that you all played at a engineering college in Vasai. That was the last Undying Inc. gig.
I have lost memories of so many shows, man. Sometimes I look through the photos and I'm like, what is this show? When did I play this show? You know, I honestly have forgotten many shows, and probably because we have done so many shows, and it turns out to be the same only towards the end. So show, you click pictures, you play the same bunch of songs, and so memories have fade ho jata hai, sort of.
So having said that, right, I mean, since you talked about playing the same songs, considering, you know, you all put out 3 singles over the last couple of years, and the set at New World Order was a mix of the newer singles, but also the older material, right? And
Right.
I think I think it was the last, correct me if I'm wrong, last track you all played was Ironclad?
Yes.
Yeah, and when Sunny sang that, I was just like, okay, like this is something that is ballsy, right? Especially pulling it off at the end, because that was closer to like 1 a.m. if I'm correct. Again, now my memory is fading in there because it was closer. But how did you all kind of go about figuring out which of the older tracks to kind of play, right? Because let's be honest, they're not easy tracks.
Oh, I just feel like we picked the songs. There was no such thing as we have to do these songs, but the choices were pretty simple because Ironclad we have to play, Manimal we have to play. Some of the popular ones we picked. And it was also a matter of comfort. The songs that we have already played, and because Ezra also joined us in 2000, what Ezra? It's been what few years for Ezra also, so he's pretty new to the band as well.
No, I joined, I think, in 18 beginning.
So it was more of like the songs that Ezra also knows and which we are all comfortable with, because Jerry probably knows all the songs. Jerry probably knows the songs on guitars and then on bass and then on drums. So
Wow.
picking the songs was not much of a big deal. We just picked the songs, and also like Sunny would be comfortable with few songs. So we took a decision on that very easily. It was not a big deal.
Sunny, what's it like for you to revisit these old songs? I mean, I'm talking about just you as a vocalist. Do you come into something like this, like approaching it like doing a cover, or do you want to try and make it your own?
Yeah, look, what I told myself was certain sections of of these songs, there's no way I could make them my own or do my take on those songs, because these are songs that are loved by the fans, and they need to be in a certain shape and form. But as far as doing these songs live is concerned, I had to take a few liberties and do my own thing in a couple of places. That's as far as the old songs go. And Biz, Ezra, Jerry, they've been very welcoming of the fact that, okay, it's okay for you to do your own thing in parts. Feel free. They've always been very encouraging of bringing my own how do I say, craft to the table as far as doing these songs live is concerned. So that's pretty much it. Yeah, you've hit the nail on the head. Like, part of it would be to look at these songs as a listener, as a fan, and treat them like covers in certain sections. But then this is my band, so these are also my songs now.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
Okay, so we've spoken a lot about the songs. Let's play one of the newer singles just to start the ball rolling and get our audience up to speed with what Undying Inc's been up to. I don't know, there are three of you in the room. I hope this will be an easy decision. Which song should we play?
OSD.
Yeah. Open source degenerate.
Here it is.
To you
With four of you now spread across the country, was there a learning curve with remote writing and recording, considering Clock was pre-pandemic, right? So did you have to change the way things would function to get new songs done?
Personally, for me, I've always been comfortable writing the songs on my own. I don't know whether it's good or bad, but I can't sit and write on a song with people around me. Okay, I have to be alone when I'm writing my parts, recording. So generally, I like to do that, and generally, I like to make parts and then record on the computer, and then or make just make a quick video on my camera, and then put all that together and then send it across. Even I was doing like we were doing that with the older liner. Even when you Raj and these guys were around, we were doing the same thing. Because it's much easier, no, to just record and send it across, and then we can trim out the fat and keep the good parts. And so it's always been like that. So not much has changed. Obviously, we used to rehearse a lot. When we have the songs, we rehearse as a band, but now we can't do that. But that's all right. I mean, we have to just move with the times. So we have, so
Hmm.
right now this works. Like the way we are doing it is it's okay. We send the parts across to each other. We work them out. We make the changes whatever we need to, and then yeah, that's how it's going right now. It's fine. I mean, I don't have a problem with that. I wish we could jam more, but considering we are an Indian band now, like not a Delhi band or a Bombay band, we are an Indian band. Yeah,
And
so
it's so funny
location,
you say that,
yeah,
is because
location
it's like
India. No, location is just
force
India.
of habit, right? I was writing the intro for this, and I force of habit wrote Delhi metal band. And then suddenly, when I was writing, I was like, hang on, I can't do Delhi
Yeah.
anymore.
Yeah. No, 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 it's it's not a Delhi band anymore.
You know what? We could just call ourselves Shillong-based Undying Inc. It would only be fair because दिल्ली बोल नहीं सकते, चंडीगढ़ बोल नहीं सकते, बॉम्बे बोल नहीं सकते, जेरी का घर ही बोल देते.
Yeah,
It'll help
I'm
with
also from
SEO.
Shillong, so
It'll help with SEO. Yes.
But I'm glad that you guys were like, already up for the remote working and all pre-pandemic, right? Because that's one of the things that I think a lot of people struggled with. But this one specifically for you, Sunny, and I had to like think about it. And sorry if I'm making you feel old, but I certainly felt old when I was jogging my memory. But to my count, I've been seeing you performing with various bands for close to now 15 years. And one of the things I've noticed is just how versatile you are, right? Because I've just seen, and I mean, consider also your recent solo project where you
Mhm.
do a lot of clean vocals and stuff. How would you say is the writing process different when you're working on Undying Ink material, or is it not really that different?
I don't think I've ever been this challenged over the 17, 20 years that I've been doing this. You, and um, I have no shame in admitting that this pushes me, that kind of takes me on the edge of the fray where I think, yeah, will I be able to do this or no? And that's what I love about this band. That's what I've always loved about the kind of music that Undying Inc. used to make and the kind of music that we make. It kind of challenges you physically, mentally, and I've never done this before. I've been in this band for about 3 years, and I still find myself constantly challenged, and I absolutely love that. Uh, it obviously it's the same guy and it's the same voice, but this gives me room to try out a lot more things. Like when I joined the band, one of the things that Ezra and Biz and Jerry had told me was just do your thing, do whatever it is that you think is right on the songs. You don't have to follow a template. And I was welcomed, and I was told that, look, this we are open to adding whatever elements that fit right with the song, and that was very reassuring because I didn't have to follow a format. I didn't have to follow a certain style that was set before. I didn't have to sound like Shashank. It was very clearly told to me that, look, just do your thing. You've been welcomed into the band for a reason, and I'm very glad for Biz, Ezra, and Jerry for setting that up for me. But sorry for the segue. I don't think I've ever been challenged as a vocalist as much as I am right now, and it makes me feel like it's been 15 years for you seeing me on stage. Right? It makes me feel like I'm back at RAIT with a competing band when we all started. It feels like I'm back to 2006, 2007 when we were trying to make original music and going up on stage and the weak legs and like it's all in there. It's all that energy, all that nervous energy is back. And at 37, 38 to have that, it's just a whole different thing.
You mentioned challenges, and with challenges always comes learning. So, what has the Undying experience taught you? And feel free to interpret that and answer it in any manner as such, be it vocal techniques or be it just a new strain of thought or developing a new way of thinking or something of that sort.
What one thing that it's definitely taught me, and Biz has been a big proponent of that, is to get fitter, to get stronger for sure. Because honestly, man, because if this kind of music, if you have to be a certain degree of fit. I'm not saying I'm gonna walk on stage with like an 8-pack and shit, but what Biz and I have, I've been talking to him about this for a while, and we've been discussing what it takes to take this music live, and it does take a certain degree of fitness, mental fitness and physical fitness, and I've been trying to be better in both of those aspects.
Wow.
This was that a precondition for finding vocalists?
Not at all, not at all. But if
but
you're healthy, you can do other things pretty well, right? Just health is wealth. That's like I read it like when I was a kid. Health is wealth. We used to have those Arnold Schwarzenegger posters and Mr. Olympia posters, and they used to mention health is wealth. So that just kind of stuck with me. And it feels if you're healthy, you can do everything else fine. You stay healthy, your mind is healthy, you can keep people around you happy, and everything kind of falls in place. So I guess, I mean, everyone should be working, everyone should be staying healthy, have a good diet. Everyone, I mean, everyone.
so this kind of brings to mind the joke that used to be making the rounds a while back, right? Is back in the day, Undying Inc. was known as the band with the least amount of body fat on stage.
Oh, I fucked it up so much.
I think you've like made the odds like a
Yeah,
little more.
I've clearly come in and upset the balance so hard, like absolute disruption.
Because I remember this making the rounds further, I think around the time when Ezra joined the band. I don't know if Ezra remembers that, but it was like, oh my God, like if you need to be in Undying Inc., you need to be like in a certain shape only. Otherwise, no chance. Oh God. But I have to ask, I mean, like, and this has kind of come to fore maybe in the last few years also. I mean, Undying Inc., let's be honest, is not a band that's been around for like a few years, right? You'll like go all the way back to your roots in Shillong. And I still remember, I, by the way, still own that demo CD, the preface to Existence. And I have to ask, I mean, there has been, of course, a change in the market, the way consumption is, where people are listening to a lot more singles. Is that possibly the reason why we've seen Undying Inc. Putting out singles in the last few years? Or are we like waiting for an album to kind of hit us in the face very soon?
Honestly, I think we are just going with the flow. A single is much easier to complete and put our work out. For an album, we have to kind of wait for a year. Then there's a lot of planning that goes on also behind putting an album out. So there's no decision as such to write a single or just write an album. We're just, like I said, we're just going with the flow. At this point, I mean, for the past few weeks, it felt like doing a single was much easier, put our music across so that people know that we are active, we are not dead, we are still undying, right? We are not dying right now. Just keeping a song, keeping a song, like just put a single out, people know, acha, these guys are around, chalo. And we are trying to like, yeah, we'll see what happens with the album or EP or whatever. But we have a bunch of songs that we are working on. So we have a lot of work to do.
Like, does it just make more or better economic sense to do singles these days?
Of course, for sure. Like I said, I mean, we have to wait for like writing an album. It takes a lot of time, effort, money. We have to like put the funds together, everything, and a single is much easier to kind of work on. And funding for a single is not very difficult. It's just one song, you know. So yeah, that's there for sure.
one thing synonymous with Undying Inc. is also a very strong visual identity over the years, right? And that's something that's not changed at all. With your recent single also, like you've got the artwork in there. So if you could just kind of take us behind the scenes on that, right? Like whoever wants to go, what's that like, and who's the one who kind of gives the brief? Who's worked on the artwork, by the way? I'm very curious to know also.
Yeah, I did it. I like to sketch, and I was into graphics. I still do graphics, graphic
Okay.
designing and stuff. Yeah, I used to do that before I started teaching and making that my career. Yeah, I like to sketch. So this just came out of a pencil sketch. I just like to sit and just scribble stuff, and it came out well. I scanned it, worked on it digitally on Photoshop. Came out pretty cool. So to be honest, didn't really think about the artwork is gonna be a certain way. When I said it across, Sunny felt that it goes with the stuff that he's writing for the song. Yeah, there's not much of planning, to be very very honest. Like the way I see it, for a metal band, you have to, it's easy. Like you need to dress in black, sorted. Music has to, like, the cover needs to have some kind of blood and skull and some kind of violence in it. Easy, sorted. There's not much thinking around. You have to really think about those things. Yeah.
Okay. But clearly one of the things that the band is thinking about is YouTube and videos, because you're doing playthroughs, you're doing shorts,
Yeah.
the whole shindig. I definitely know that it's something that takes a lot of time and effort, just video production. What's the benefit been like to do all of this and to make sure that you guys are putting out content?
Social is all Ezra and Biz. I
Oh,
think, yeah, they run all the channels, be it shorts, be it those playthroughs. I Biz and Ezra both are very active in terms of experimenting with new stuff to put out there and put out there regularly. We did a little bit of a video project while we before the show, and all of that is headed by Ezra and Biz.
Ezra, what makes you want to keep doing this, and really, like, what's the worth in doing all of this in today's day and age? Is it the only way to get to reiterate that you guys are undying?
It's a part of the job, I'd say, because we are into music, so we should play and post a video for the fans. I keep noticing. I post different kind of stuff and reactions of the people. Sometimes I post things about fitness. Sometimes I post my travel. So I always look at the analytics of every single post. And being a band, people are always waiting for like band members just to see for the things they do. And in coming days, I'm planning much more things and being more active, because I look up for the big bands, famous bands, what they are doing. I learn from them.
Yeah, and I must add, right? Like, I think among all of you guys, I'm the least educated music-wise. So when I see like Biz put up a playthrough video, I'm just like, good I didn't learn guitar. Like, I wouldn't have like that much time and effort to kind of put it. Because that's the thing, right? Like, I like how Biz put it, that, oh, you just show up in a black t-shirt, oh, you do this. But when you watch those playthroughs or things like that, right, you just realize that for that one playthrough, I don't know how many hours you'd have to practice, how many hours you'd actually write, like putting all of that. And that's effort, which I think I think in today's day and age of 1 minute videos, right, it's all about the reels and shots. No one kind of focuses on this, like, I don't know, endless number of hours it takes to just put that one piece. And unfortunately, it's now content, right?
That's the sad part of it. Alrighty, let's change tunes and put out one more song. We played OSD. और क्या बजा सकते हैं?
Wait, can I put a request? Can
Yeah.
we play Glock, and can you guys take us through that? Because I think that was a cool thing to kind of reintroduce the band of sorts in there. So what was the approach taken towards Glock? I know it's been a while, but revisit that.
Oh wow, Glock. Okay, it's been a while. when I made that call to ask Biz if I can audition for the band, if I can join the band, Biz told me कि हाँ आजा गाना तैयार है record करना है सिर्फ and
Wow.
like what yeah no so it had the song had been in the Undying Inc system for a while. I don't know how many. I think about a couple of years, Biz.
Yeah. A year
Yeah.
or so, a year and a half or so, I think, before you came in.
So the song had been in the system. The song had been played live, in some form or the other. And I had this beautiful monster that I was handed, and I was told, "Chal, just let's get you to write some stuff and record karke. Let's just put it out there." And this song, man, it's quite hard to play live, to say the least. And but just it's a very special song to me, because I went into the studio after like a really really long time, and it was surprising how quickly I got into the groove of the song, the essence of the song. And I think the writing process took me just like about a month or so, and that's quite fast by my standards. I usually take longer, but I love it for the the essence of Undying Inc, which is chaotic groove, and that's right there at the center of the song, right? Like it's all through the song. And I just said, look, there's only one thing that the song demands vocally, and that's hooks, only hooks. And that was kind of a brief that I gave myself. And I recorded it, and I'm very glad for the fact that it was appreciated quite well. That's pretty much my point of view on Glock, and it coming out and it being my first song. Very, very special song to me.
Since it was Sunny's debut as such, and also the debut of a new Undying Inc, those facts, did it add any more pressure on the song itself? Like it had to be that good and it had to be that powerful a statement? Or Biswa, were you just confident कि नहीं गाना तो सही है, बस इस पे correct vocals आ जाएं?
Like when I spoke to Sunny, I was set in my head. I was like, it's done, sorted. Yeah, I there was no audition that had to be taken. There was nothing. I knew like, okay, it's done, it's sorted. Like we just have to work and we'll figure things out on our own. There was no. I knew it's gonna be brutal. It's gonna be heavy. It's gonna be all of that. So just knowing that it was Sunny who's coming and taking the vocal section.
Alrighty, here's Glock.
Straight from the floor, the back, never a guard. 1,000 different
You guys have slowly kind of surfaced, played gigs. At the top of the conversation, you all talked about doing stuff like the video, which was shot around the gig. Ezra talked about like playthroughs and other stuff in there. So, is there a plan in the short term of sorts for Undying Inc? Is there something that you're working towards? Gigs? I know, sure, because like gigs are happening all across the country now. What can you share with us?
We are writing new material. We have a plan for a music video. I don't know when that'll happen, considering we are scattered all across the country. And yeah, and live shows we are waiting for. Like I've spoken to few people. Let's see how that turns out. So waiting if a live show happens, nothing like it. Because right now we are prepared. At least personally in my head, like we are ready to go. The first that was the Bombay show was just a warm up. So now we know where we stand as a band. The chemistry is set. Everything. The hardest part is done. We spoke about it. The hardest part is done. We jammed in the rehearsal room. We played a show with whatever ups and downs in the show. We made our mistakes. We learned, and either you win or you learn. There's no losing in this. Either you win or you learn. So we learned a lot, and we are moving ahead. Like waiting for shows to happen. I'm trying to book us something in Delhi. Let's see how that works out. But yeah, we are ready to. We're all set to go.
Okay, that's fabulous. And what about on the song front? When can we expect to hear more material?
We are writing new stuff, so we have at least 4 or 5 tracks which are not ready, but yeah, we are working on new songs. So we don't know. Yeah, it's not a very good idea to give you dates right now, or to say something.
Can't wait to see what's next from Undying Inc. Thank you guys for sparing some time and
Thank you
chatting
so
with
much.
us.
Thank you
Thanks
so
for having
much.
us, guys. Thank you.
Yeah.
And everyone else, stay tuned to whatever Undying Inc is doing, because you'll get to see it soon on their socials in any case. And if you'd like to reach out to us, well, we are available at hornsupod.com or on Twitter at hornsupod. I'm at Asmani on Twitter.
I'm at Trend Crusher.
And this was Horns Up.
Horns up, guys.